So, औज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम, बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। अस्सलामु अलैकुम। So, तुम्हारा नाम क्या है?
वालेकुम सलाम।
अब्दुल्ला?
अब्दुल्ला सर।
अब्दुल्ला, ठीक
यस
है।
सर।
जस्ट कीप इट अब्दुल्ला, ठीक है ना? अब्दुल्ला
ओके।
तुम्हारा नाम है और तुमने बैचलर्स किया हुआ है एक्चुरियल साइंसेज में।
यस सर।
इसका मतलब तुम्हारी मैथ्स आखिर लेवल की है।
यस।
ठीक है। अच्छा, उसके बाद तुमने पीजीडी किया हुआ है, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट डिप्लोमा कहाँ से किया
यस
तुम?
सर। सर वो एनईडी से किया है मैंने।
कहाँ से पढ़ा?
एनईडी।
अच्छा, और उसके बाद तुमने डिप्लोमा कहाँ से किया, पीजीडी?
सर मैंने जो ग्रेजुएशन की हुई है वो कराची यूनिवर्सिटी से करी हुई है, और जो पीजीडी कह रहा है पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट डिप्लोमा, वो एनईडी से किया हुआ है मैंने।
ओके, एक मिनट सबर। अब हु इज सैयद? आई मीन यहाँ पर एक मिनट सबर, ठीक है। आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू सी अब्दुल्ला। हाँ, मतलब किसी और के पास वो ना हो ना। अच्छा अच्छा, ये चीज़ हो गई, ठीक है, सही है। सो यू हैव डन दिस एंड देन कितने अरसे से बाहर हो दुबई में?
सर अभी रिसेंटली बस मुझे 6 महीने हुए हैं यहाँ पे आए हुए।
अच्छा, तो किस किस्म की कंपनी, नाम लेने की जरूरत नहीं है,
ओके।
किस किस्म की कंपनी में काम कर रहे हो?
सर ये एक कंसल्टेंसी है जहाँ पे एक्चुअल की सर्विसेज और साइबर सिक्योरिटी की सर्विसेज, इस टाइप की जो है सर्विसेज बेसिकली ये लोग प्रोवाइड करते हैं।
साइबर सिक्योरिटी और एक्चुरियल सर्विसेज?
सॉरी सर, साइबर सिक्योरिटी भी है, एक्चुअल सर्विसेज भी हैं, ऑडिट की सर्विसेज भी प्रोवाइड करते हैं ये लोग, कंप्लायंस की सर्विसेज
Like,
प्रोवाइड करते हैं।
is it one of the big four firms?
नो, या इट इज लाइक अ बिग फोर, बट मोर और लेस उसी जैसी ही है।
Okay. So it's a local firm, but it's like a big four firm, like PwC or
यस सर।
Deloitte or
या।
KPMG. So, do you know that actuarial sciences is on the decline because of the AI and everything?
एग्जैक्टली सर।
हालांकि actuarial sciences जो करते हैं, they are considered one of the top, right? There was a
या।
time that it was considered कि जिसने actuarial sciences पढ़ ली वो बंदा तो जो है ना सबसे टॉप पे चला गया, right? ऐसा ही है ना? ठीक है?
एग्जैक्टली सर।
एंड इट इज़ वेरी टफ, इट इज़ वेरी टफ,
या।
नॉट ईजी, ठीक है ना? अच्छा, एक्चुअरियल साइंसेज के एग्जाम्स भी होते हैं, जो चार्टर्ड एग्जाम्स
जी
होते हैं,
सर।
दे आर अगेन वेरी टफ एज वेल। हैव यू डन दोज
या।
और नॉट?
नो नो सर, उसकी तरफ मेरा बेसिकली, मैं डाटा साइंस की तरफ शुरू से ही हूँ मैं, एट द टाइम ऑफ द यूनिवर्सिटी ना। तो मतलब मुझे बीआई से थोड़ा कह लें कि मैं बहुत करीब हूँ, फेमिलर हूँ। तो मैं अपने आप को इस तरफ देखना चाहता हूँ, दैट्स वाई मैंने आगे जो एक्चुअल साइंस को परस्यू नहीं करा। मीन्स मतलब प्रोफेशनल लेवल के ऊपर जो है मैं उसकी तरफ नहीं गया।
अच्छा, ठीक है, सही है। अब देखो तुम्हें करना क्या चाहिए, व्हाट डू यू हैव टू डू? सो आई एम गोइंग टू लीव दिस मैसेज इन इंग्लिश, ठीक है ना? सो
ओके।
एक्चुरियल साइंसेज इज कंसिडर्ड एज वन ऑफ द टॉप साइंसेज, राइट? In the mainstream sciences and all the things जो होती हैं, ठीक है ना? In the branches of mathematics, it is also considered one of the toughest ones. There was a time that actuarial, anyone who's an actuariist was considered a very high commodity, right? Even in countries like India and Pakistan, the salaries are very high. You know that, right?
या। एग्जैक्टली सर।
They start from the six figures. Anyone who has completed all
या।
of those, especially कि अगर किसी ने, if anyone has passed their chartered account actuarial exams, then they are considered one of the elites, like, because they can even earn easily ₹1 million in a month as well, right? When they go, like, when they are grown and old enough in the business, right? So it depends on where you are, what you're working, what you're doing, so on and so forth. Whether you're working in the investment banks or the risk management firms or insurance firms, that's where predominantly you guys work, right?
या।
Uh, Also, big four firms who provide these kinds of consultancy, like risk-based consultancies and whatnot, right? So it's a very high commodity. Now, coming now in 2024, we are in January of 2024, AI is upon the horizon. It's already there, right? So how AI is going to reshape the world, you already know that. So why are you looking into other careers? What is happening? Are you feeling threatened that something is coming and a big shift is coming in the industry that I may have to do something about it, or what is happening?
So the thing is more or less in the actual sciences as well, data sciences maybe in few years are combining with actual science. So that is the thing I want to reshape my career as well, because data science includes everywhere nowadays. So that is the main reason I want to pursue the
There is-
data science
now
or AI related
I'm going to
related things.
just remove everything and I'm going to put you somewhere like in the middle, right? There's a lot of you can say a very deceiving practice, like become a data scientist, become this, become. There is no such thing as data science.
Okay.
Uh, there are no data scientists per se in many of the organizations, right? Uh, Data science, if you ask someone, what is data science? You know, you have done your PGD, right? What is data science? I mean, essentially, what do data scientists really do in an organization? What do they do?
So the art of making insights from a data, more or less, especially. So
Hey, that's a good
it's
answer, but how do you
yeah.
make, how do you learn that art of getting the insights from the data? How do you do that?
Uh, Basically, if I tell you, so there is no specific tool for doing this, but the thing is, we can do with different programming languages, and the tool which is
No,
beyond
no, no,
to
no. Listen, you did your bachelor's, your postgraduate, and you are an actuarial
yeah,
science. Look, it all comes down to three things in an organization that one needs to understand. It's about people, processes, and technology. That's it. There is nothing else. So if
okay,
you want to get insights from the data, you need to understand who the people are, what are the processes, and what are the technological components organizations are using. And on top of this thing, what is the data being generated by the people, by the processes, and by the technology, right? So if you work in the financial industry, in a payment card industry, you need to understand how the payment card industry business really works. It revolves around data security, right? Because if the data is not secure of payment card data, what happens? It's worthless, right?
yeah, exactly,
All of that, those insights that are being generated by a payment card user is the data you need to understand. And sometimes you need to secure the data, sometimes you need to run analytics on that data. Similarly, if you're working in a pharmaceutical company, it's about the research studies that they're doing, the analytics we can get from there, what medicines they're selling the most, in which areas, which demographic. You need to understand all the business processes. So it all comes down to three things: people, processes, and technology. This is your class, interview preparation 101. So if you go to some other
okay,
company, right? If you go to IBM or PwC or KPMG and you want to apply for as an AI or machine learning scientist, right? They're going to ask you these questions, right? You already know the mathematics part deep down. That's not a problem. You already know that, right? But the problem is going to be, how do you explain yourself when it comes to connecting the dots of the technology, the people, the processes together, right? And this is where you have to do this. So how do you become a data scientist? That's another question. The biggest problem in the industry is like everyone focuses, learn this language, learn that language,
yeah, exactly, sir.
learn R, learn, do this, do that. No, that's just all useless. This is
Oh,
all.
wow, yeah,
You don't need to
exactly.
learn languages because the AI, if is at that level that you just need to point the data to AI and say, this is the data, analyze the data, give me all the possible outcomes that you can think of from this data. So if the model is already trained, you will be able to extract that information. Like, for example, on AWS, Amazon, they have various services that they use, right? In terms of like creating and generating multiple things from a given data. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to recreate a wheel. No, you just need to know how to use that wheel going from point A to point B, right? So there is no need to create a car. Car is already there. You need to
Yeah,
understand how many passengers I can fit in this car and how can I go from point A to point B in the most efficient and effective manner, right? To do that, you need to understand a couple of things. Now, what is the biggest amount of data organizations are spewing up nowadays? Tell me. What is the biggest amount? I mean, you did your PGD in data science. You should be able to answer this question. What is the biggest amount of data organizations is able to spew up? Like they are creating the large portion of data that you need to analyze. What is that data? Or where does it data resides? Okay, let's answer that.
I think in my opinion, sir, they have, uh, if you talk about the number of, I think, quantum of the data.
No, no, no. Okay, so let's take a step back. The thing is, like, now I'm not going to ask you any questions because now I know, because asking further questions is going to just bury you down deeper, right? I don't want to do that. So let's rise up. Okay. Now I understand where you are. You need to do a lot of first of all hard work, right?
Okay.
Because whatever you learned is, doesn't have any value, right? This is the reality. On the day of judgment, many people will be coming to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and and they will be trying to go to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam for Hawz Kawthar, right? You're a Muslim, mashallah, your name is Abdullah. So my
Yeah.
son is Abdullah. This is one of the most beloved name in terms of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah loves two names, Abdullah and Abdul Rahman, right? That's why
Abdul
Allah
Rahman.
named
Yeah.
my son Abdullah. So many people will be trying to go towards Hawz Kawthar to drink the water, because on that day, the day is 50,000 years long. One day is 50,000 years long, right? And how long it will take, Allah knows. But we were told by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that that day will be, one day will be 50,000 years long, and everyone cannot move from their place until they have given their full account. So people will be trying, they will be thirsty, and they will be worried, all and whatnot, and they will be trying to go and drink some water. And the only water that will be available will be Hawz Kawthar, right? And you can't go there unless and until you meet a certain criteria, certain requirements. So you can't become a good data scientist if you don't meet certain requirements. And those, what are those requirements? So lift up your hand. So the biggest amount of data organization creates are its, critical infrastructure and systems, right? That's number one, right? So this is all the DevOps processes, the SysOps processes. These are the two things that they create, because there are applications, there are systems, they can be in the cloud, they can be in the data center. So you see, so lift up your hand. You have 5 fingers. You may have 6. I don't know, right? So assuming you have 5 fingers, the first finger is going to be your basically DevOps. Second thing is going to be
DevOps.
SysOps, right? Third thing is going to be offensive, right? Offensive security, like, and people can attack those systems, they can take out those systems, they can damage those systems, they can do many things, right? The fourth thing is basically blockchain. There are many other technologies, but blockchain is a very integral technology used in pretty much in every organization in one way or the other, right? The fifth thing is artificial intelligence, AIOPS. That's the pinky finger. That's a small finger, right? But that's the toughest you can think of, right? It has various meanings, right? So AI is the last, you can say, bastion, which is able to encapsulate everything. And then in the middle, the palm, is the cybersecurity and GRC. So if you know about cybersecurity and GRC, you can stand DevOps, you can stand SysOps, offensive security, blockchain, and AI. You encapsulate all of that. This is your organization. And that's where, as a data scientist, you'll be sitting in, understanding the processes of the organization, what the systems are generating, how we can secure the systems, how we can secure the business processes, what do we have to do as a business BAU, business as usual activities, all of these things, marketing, operations, sales, support, all of these things. It sums down to these 5 areas. Now, there are another 5 areas as well. I'm not going there because you need 2 hands, right, to manage the
Yeah.
organization. Right now, I'm not going there. I'm just talking about the first hand. So altogether, you have 5 fingers and a palm, right? So you need this, okay? So that's the first thing you need to understand. So if you understand this, then you know everything, okay?
Okay, sir.
Now, how to become the best data scientist? You need to understand, and what do you need to learn? There are millions of opportunities for you to go into Europe and to go into towards the USA or Canada, right? You can essentially, how old are you?
30, sir.
30. Why didn't you apply for permanent residency of Canada?
Due to, sir, some of my personal reasons, that's why on that time I didn't want to go to
But now, do
outside.
you want to go?
Yeah,
Because you've
yeah,
already
yeah,
left
exactly.
Pakistan, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
right? So this is the time. The first thing you need to do is you need to apply for a PR.
Okay, sir.
That's the first thing you need to do. So take my word, or you need to go do, and you have to do certain of these things. Now I'm going to ask you. I'm not going to ask you how much you're earning, what you're doing. Actuarial sciences,
Okay,
working,
sir.
you're earning good. Alhamdulillah, right?
Yeah,
Right.
Alhamdulillah.
So that's good. You're not married, assuming that you're living with
No,
friends.
sir.
You
Yes, sir. Exactly.
want to get married as well as soon as possible. That's the first thing you
Yeah,
need,
inshallah, sir.
right? You should have done that at the age of 25. Bit late. That's the sunnah age because Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam got married at the age of 25. Okay.
Okay.
So what you need to do now is you need to start your journey towards artificial intelligence operations. The reason is you're going to learn the DCCS, okay, the Diploma in Cloud Cybersecurity, which is cybersecurity, GRC, all these aspects. Then you're going to learn DevOps, SysOps, AI. Forget offensive and blockchain right now. So these are the three things. This is like
Okay.
a gun, right? So you need a gun.
Yeah.
So imagine this is your gun and you need this, right? So all you need is the trigger and the barrel and the bullets. The bullets needs to be here, right? So that's what you need. Now you need to focus yourself in terms of doing these things. Now, considering you're an actuarial sciences guy, you can pass, we teach diploma in AIOPS. It is equivalent to bachelor's. You have already done your bachelor's, I understand. I mean, actuarial science bachelor's is world renowned, right? From Karachi University or wherever you have done like NAD, it's recognized, right? But it is not going to help you. You already are seeing the writing on the wall. Things are changing very fast, right?
Exactly, sir.
Learn the technology. That's why you're here. Otherwise, why why? I mean, I don't know how you came about us. Like, how do you came to know about us? Like, how?
Sir, from the Facebook page, and some of my friends told me to, there's a Nafi Institute. They are offering some good diplomas, which leads to a practical hands-on their diplomas. That's
Yes.
why yes, I
So
thought that there.
there are a couple of things you have to do. Okay. So the first thing you need to do is you need to prepare yourself.
Okay,
Start studying diploma in AI ops. Okay.
okay, sir.
Focus your attention on how much time do you have in a given day?
I think 2 to 3 hours
2 to 3 hours. Okay.
per day. Yeah.
And when you travel, how long is your travel?
Um, Approx 1 hour.
1 hour? That's a long
Yes, sir.
time, commute time,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Traffic must be very bad in Dubai, right?
Exactly, sir.
So that's a good thing. It's a good thing because you have 2 hours over there, 2 to 3 hours on the side. So roughly you have 4 to 5 hours, right?
Exactly, sir.
That's a good time. And considering you're working 5 days a week,
6 days, sir.
oh, so the job is 6 days?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So so you're working in a consulting organization or
Yes, sir. Consulting.
consulting organization always gives you a hard time, right?
Yeah, exactly, sir.
Always make you work harder and harder, right? You will lose a lot of your good days, and you will lose a lot of hair. I don't know whether you have a lot of hair or not. You will lose a lot of hair, and your hair will turn white very fast while working in a
Yeah.
consulting organizations. I recommend everyone to not to work for a consulting organization for more than 1 year to 2 years. Minimum one,
Okay,
maximum.
sir.
Just leave it because they will just consume you. Okay. So that's one thing. So start with when you're commuting, listen to the lectures. Just
Okay,
breeze,
sir.
just breeze, just listen, listen, listen. Even if something doesn't register yourself, it's fine. You can skip the mathematics courses. They are, uh, they are going to be very easy for you anyway, but they're not required. Okay. So you
Okay,
can
sir.
skip the mathematics courses. Pay attention to some of the courses which are going to be very important for you. Those are from DevOps, SysOps, the labs generation, and the EduCall exam. The reason I'm telling you about the EduCall exam is there are not too many qualifications in the world which has the name known associated with them as diploma in AI ops. So once you
Okay,
have
sir.
this diploma in artificial intelligence operations, anyone who wears an AI shirt and he walks around on the road, people will think like this guy, he must be very big in AI, right? That's
Yeah.
how people make video, right? On YouTube, they will just sit wearing an AI shirt and they'll just start talking about artificial intelligence stuff, right? That's how people make videos on YouTube. This is, by the way, haram. I'm not going to go there. making videos and earning through that is not permissible in Islam. But anyway, the point is that you need to focus on some of the core courses that we're going to tell you. And there are videos on what you need to focus on and what you can skip. Pass the EduCall exam. Anyone can pass the EduCall exam. EduCall exam is 2 parts. The first part is MCQs. Okay?
Okay.
Anyone can pass the MCQs. A person like you who has done actuarial science, a normal person, it takes him 2 to 3 months to pass all the 8,000 MCQs. You will be given 20 MCQs at a time. It's unlimited attempts. You do the first attempt, the second attempt, the third attempt, you will pass. A person like you may be able to pass the exam within a month to 2 months' time because you're
Okay.
already conditioned, right? Yes, you might struggle in some things, but you will be able to pass. The EduCall exam is 2 parts. So everyone can pass the MCQ part. The second part is interview and presentation. I'm not sure why it's showing the balloons.
I don't know, sir. Yeah.
No, but the second part is basically that you need to go through uh, the interview and presentation. So we will give you a topic, but you can only do that. You can only attempt that once you have completed 85% of the courses, the core courses, the core. I'm not
Okay,
talking
sir.
about optional, the core courses, which you will be able to complete in 6 months' times, considering you are studying 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours at home, and 2 hours listening to the lectures while going off to the office and coming back, right? Don't waste your time. If you do this in
Yeah.
6 months' time, you will be sitting in Canada on a PR. Halas. You'll be sitting here.
Okay, sir.
Once you land, rather than, there are people who are landing here and then they're calling me, what should we do? I told them what they were supposed to be doing. They didn't do it, but now they're driving taxis, Uber, right? So I told them, and then they say, okay, now yes, we know there are jobs, but what should we study now? Then I don't talk to them. I say, I already told you. I don't have the time to tell you again. You've already wasted my time, right? So you already know what you had to do. If you go back to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and ask them on the day of judgment, what were we supposed to be doing? He will just, turn away from us. He will turn away his face and say, you already knew what you were supposed to be doing. Why didn't you do it? Allah says in the Quran, why do you don't do what you promise that you will do, right? So there are many ayahs in the Quran and the Hadith as well. So you have to follow those things. If you don't follow, you will be sitting where you are right now. But considering you are a smart guy, mashallah, right? Your name is Abdullah. May Allah provide guidance to all of us. Pay attention to what I'm saying. That's why I'm recording this video.
Yeah, exactly,
So you
sir.
will go on
Thank
the
you so much.
portal and everyone can follow it, right?
Yeah.
A guide, an explanation of how an actuarial science guy can be successful. Okay, so
Okay,
this
sir.
is for you and for all the actuarial sciences guys out there. You guys can find a job here working in artificial intelligence operations, developing high frequency algorithms and whatnot within companies because you will have the DevOps skills, the SysOps skills. You can create anything, any data. I don't know why it's showing the balloons, the Zoom,
Yeah.
but it's just saying celebrating or something. But you'll be able to do all of these things without any problems if you pay attention and complete the course. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now, then there is a third part. The first 2 parts are EduCall exam part 1, part 2. The third part is Al Razak Labs. Al Razak Labs are where you will learn how to create a machine, how to do this, how to create a Docker, a container, how to connect the container, how to migrate the data, how to create the whole serverless architecture, how to create pods, how to do this, how to do that, how to infuse AI into business processes, how to create data lakes. All of these things are covered in there, right? So if you do all of these things, when you go for the interview, that's precisely the same interview they will be asking you. So if you do these things, you will be sitting on $150,000 to $200,000 job in Canada or in US or in UK within no time. My recommendation to you would be, if you want to go study diploma in AIOPS rather than coming to Canada, go to UK, you will easily land on a job, a high paying job within 1 year. Because doing the diploma in AIOPS, you will be able to take admission and masters directly in artificial intelligence or anything. I mean, the masters is useless, but you still have to do it because it will give you a postgraduate work permit for 2 years, a 2 years work permit. But by the time you're doing it, in your resume, it will mention that while doing courses at Nafi, you were working at Nafi Cloud with all of these things, right? Because
Okay, yeah.
it counts towards that. We are building up your resume. We're preparing you for the interview. This is how we prepare for the interview, by the way, right? You're working on the labs because that's your interview preparation. Because when you go for the interview, okay, give us an example of a serverless architecture cluster, load balance on 2 regions, and you'll be able to explain them because you have already done that. Okay, give us an example of how you're going to use generative AI to look at all the data, analyze the data for application performance monitoring, and you'll be able to do that. In your case, you will be much more dangerous because you already know the mathematics part down right? So you have already covered all of those things. So that thing will take you to the next level. So your progression of going in as a senior architect or as a director level, becoming a director level, like within 1 to 2 years, is very high.
Okay.
But you have to follow the pathway. If you don't follow the pathway, there's nothing else anyone can do for you. If we
Yeah.
do not follow Islam properly, we'll be thrown in hellfire. If we go to Allah on the day of, Imam Kathir says, Ibn Kathir, he says that this is in his most famous tafsir, Ibn Kathir. He says that on the day of judgment, if we go to Allah and says like, we followed this, we followed that scholar, we followed that scholar, and Allah will throw away that scholar in the hellfire and us as well. Because don't follow blindly the scholars. Study deen, study religion yourself and say, okay, this is what Quran says, this is what Hadith says, this is what I need to follow. So don't become like, you're a smart guy. Do your research. So what I'm telling you, this is recorded. Go and say, okay, Muhammad Faisal said this. Muhammad Faisal said this. This is what I need to do. This is what I need to do. Okay, let me check. Let me
Okay,
do,
sir.
and then you will know. So I'm going to show you something right now, which is something very important. So I'm going to pause the video. Hold on. So I showed this person what he has to do, and as an actuarial consultant, what he needs to study, so on and so forth. So again, if he follows the pathway, he will be inshallah successful. May Allah give him success, inshallah. If you have any questions, you can always come back to me and ask me those questions in the group where I'm sitting, or through the email as well. Wherever possible I can answer, I always answer back, inshallah. Okay. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Oh, thank you, sir.